video introduces the RBT Input Builder. This is a small standalone application for building the input XML file for the RBT console version. The application, as I said, is standalone. It doesn't need to be installed. All you need is the little exe here. You do need the .NET framework installed, but most people with Windows 7 will have that already. So you just double-click the exe to open it. You get this user interface up, and it leads you through all of the inputs that the RBT needs to generate the input file. We'll move down them sequentially here, starting with the site. We'll give it a name. I've actually downloaded this John Day data set already on my computer here, so I'm going to give that site name as my input. The RBT input file, this is actually the path where I'm going to generate my RBT input file. So I'm going to browse out to that, and I'm actually going to put it in this John Day folder here, 2012 John Day, and I'm going to call it input6.xml. I've already got an input 5 there, so I'm going to call it input6. Has to be a new unique name. Next up is the temporary folder you want the RBT to use. It defaults to this folder. You can either browse out and specify a folder, or you can click this temp button and it will actually put your system temp folder in here as the temp folder. Okay, this is a folder that RBT is going to put a lot of intermediate geodata results into. For the outputs down here, you'll notice that it's picked up already the folder I used for my XML file. So the output here is where the results, the log, and the artifacts files are going to be put out by the RBT. Next up is to add some visits to this site. So I click visit here, and I'm just going to call this visit 2012. Now I need to browse out to the Geodatabase. So this Geodatabase is actually inside my John Day folder. Here's the survey Geodatabase. Okay, and going to browse out here to the same location. Come in. I'm going to click on the GDB folder. That's the Geodatabase folder, and that's what I select here for my survey GDB. These flags here I turn on or off. Calculate metrics is going to tell the RBT to calculate all of the metrics. Make DEMs orthogonal. You basically want to turn one or the other of these on. Okay. You don't want both on at the same time. One is for checking the orthogonality of DEMs, and the other is for calculating metrics. So choose between one of these. And finally, this primary flag here is if you're going to be performing change detection, you want to set one of your visits in the site to primary, and that's the one that all other visits are compared against. So that will typically be your 2012 visit. Okay. Channel units here, you have to know how many channel units are in your Geodatabase. This application could go and look it up, but I'm trying to keep it simple, and so you need to, best way to do that is just open ArcMap, drag in the channel units layer, and see how many records are in there. I happen to know for this site there are 12 channel units. In the input XML, it's going to create random channel units. The purpose of this tool is to build an input file for testing, not for actually running the RBT in a real sense. So we don't really care what those channel units are, we just need to make sure there's 12 records in the input XML. Yeah, so they'll be random, they'll be either fast turb, fast non-turb, or pools. And within that they'll have tier 2 classifications as well, but that's not critical for testing. The field season, this is a 2012 field season. So there we've got our visit added. We can add more if we're going to be doing, if we have multiple visits for this site, and if we're going to be doing change detection, we can just keep adding more and more visits. Finally, check this box here, open the RBT input file afterwards if you want to actually look at the file afterwards, and I recommend strongly that you do investigate the input XML that this tool creates. It's not meant to be a final version. You can edit it before you use it with the RBT. It's just meant to speed up creating these files. And then finally, check this box to close the tool when it's done. If you're going to be creating many input files in the same folder structure, etc., you might want to keep the tool open so you don't lose all of your inputs. And and yeah, so in this case I am going to turn this one off so that the tool, I'm going to check it so the tool closes, and I want to look at the file afterwards. When it's done, it's going to attempt to open the file in Notepad++. If you don't have that installed, it will try to open it in Notepad. Okay, so I do have Notepad++ installed. The tool's finished, it's closed, and now it's showing me the file that it's created. So if you're familiar with the RBT input file, you'll notice that this is the structure we use, all of the tags and all of your inputs in here. There's a few assumptions about the data dictionary of layers, the names of center lines, and you can change all of these now before using this file with the RBT. Check the tins, etc. It automates the creation of those based on where your survey geodatabase is. It assumes they're in the same folder and called tin and WS tin. Here are your 12 channel units, as I mentioned, with random classification. Down here, these are your outputs with the folder, log, and your artifacts folder, etc. The parameters are all standard, you don't get a choice over those. These are what we use with Champ, and your change detection is down here and turned on. So as soon as you have multiple visits and one of them is set to primary, you will perform a change detection. Okay, that's the RBT Input Builder tool.